been a minute. Man, you didn't let me say, hey, we went right into it. Gosh, I ain't seen y'all boys in like 6 months.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much.
Well, with this contract extension, you now have a chance to solidify yourself as one of the greatest Broncos wide receivers of all time. How much did legacy factor into you getting this contract?
Yeah. First off, I want to say, thanks. A lot of thank yous are into order, but I'm very thankful to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, to be able to have this opportunity, to be able to be healthy, to be able to be going into my 8th year into the NFL, and then also just to be able to be a part of this amazing organization of the Denver Broncos, man. This is huge, and I have an amazing team in Jake Presser and Daniel Gresham who, through this whole process were able to, figure out the best way to be able to get this joint done. Communication was amazing between us three, and ownership, Mr. Penner, Mr. George, Mr. Rich, Coach Payton, the whole nine. The communication was amazing for us to be able to get on the same page with this. And I'm just very thankful to the Penner family and the ownership group for believing in me, continuing to believe in me, to give me the opportunity to be able to stay here and to, continue to build, the legacy that I've had here since, 2018. And I'm just grateful, man. I have a heart of gratitude for this opportunity. And, I'm just grateful. But, to answer your question, it is legacy, being able to be here, signing the contract. That was the biggest thing for me, was being able to be here and, bring back, the years that Broncos fans have known. The organization has such a long historic tradition of being successful, and you all know that I've been here through the thick and the thin, and there's a lot of promise on the other side of the horizon here, and to be able to be here and to have more years of being able to chase greatness, with this great team that we have and with this great organization, that was one thing that I was looking forward to. And we have the best fans in football, and it's not a cliche thing to say. It's one thing that I believe wholeheartedly. I've played in almost every NFL stadium, and there's nothing like Empire Field and being able to play in front of Broncos country. And so I'm just grateful to be able to be here and to continue my legacy here.
Courtland, it's unusual to get a third contract for players. Because it's a young man's game. What have you done to kind of, minimize those fears on age and going forward?
Yeah, shoes. I actually had a conversation with one of the guys today in between periods about, what it takes to be able to, have a growth mindset. And I take every day as an opportunity to be able to chase greatness within myself. 1% better, whether it's a football thing, whether it's a life thing, whether it's recovery, film, pre-practice, post-practice, all these different things. I feel like if you get to a place of complacency in your life, whether it's career-wise or personal, then you get to a spot where you're no longer able to grow. And there's always growth that's able to be done. And, I tell the young guys all the time, man, I'm always trying to find different ways to, master and become better in my craft on and off the field. And I'm a thief when it comes to finding different ways to be better, whether it's a recovery thing, whether it's watching film, whether it's a pre-practice thing, whether it's a post-practice thing. I'm always trying to find something to, be better at whatever it is I can be better at. And complacency scares me. And so to find different ways to, step forward and continue to better myself, I'm trying to do that.
Courtland, what was it like staying as patient as you did? I'm sure you wanted an extension last year and you went through the bulk of this year. What was it like maintaining that patience?
Yeah, man, I knew that things were going to work out the way they were supposed to work out. I knew that we had, a great group upstairs that, believes in me, and I have a great team, like I said, in Jacob Presser and Daniel Gresham that, worked diligently, and the communication was amazing. There was never a time that we felt like things weren't going to be able to get done. The communication was there, and we were able to keep moving forward, keep taking steps forward. And, I had the utmost faith that something was going to get done. And, the last thing that I wanted to be was a distraction. And, that's what I've done my entire career, and that's what I want to continue to do, is not be a distraction. How can I do things the best way I possibly can for this team and for this organization to continue to stay in the light of progress and moving forward. And like I said, the communication was great, and I knew that something was going to eventually get done, and that's what I had to hold steadfast on.
Corey, you mentioned the kind of great things that lie ahead. When Sean got here a couple of years ago, he said he quickly knew you were one of those guys that epitomizes what he wanted this team to be about. I guess how much did that mean to you that obviously a lot of guys left and have kind of moved on? For you to be one of the guys that built around, what does that mean to you, and what responsibility do you kind of hold because of that?
Yeah, it means a lot. For Coach Payton, someone who's been around a lot of really great players, for him to, see something like that in me, it allows me to know that, the things that I do on a day-to-day basis aren't going in vain. And it may be the things that, that the everyday person doesn't get to see, but I try to, like I said earlier, try to be the best version of myself I can be, whether it's on the field or off the field. And whether it goes noticed or unnoticed, I know that those things are things that allow me to be the best version of me. And for Coach to notice those things, it allows me to have the confidence to continue to try to pursue that greatness, pursue that consistency of greatness. And it's a constant thing even to this point. The contract isn't the end all be all. The contract was just allowing me to have that stability to say, hey, you're going to be here for the next 4 years, and the things that are possible are still attainable. And I look forward to chasing those. We're putting together a great camp over the first week and 2 days, and I think that the guys are hungry. I think we have great pieces that we've added in this offseason. I think we have great pieces that we added in the draft, and I think we have great pieces that returned from this past season. And the practices have been competitive. The practices have been detailed, and I think that it's very encouraging to see the direction that the team is already going in at such an early stage.
Corey, you've had a lot of different quarterbacks in your time here. How much excitement and peace of mind does it bring knowing that you have your quarterback in the future?
Man, Bo's my guy, and I think I've said that since we picked him up last year, but being able to have the conversations that I've had with him throughout the offseason and so far throughout training camp, the dude's mindset, he was already light years ahead of where anybody expected a rookie quarterback to be last year, but to have the conversations that we're having together already, and the things that he sees and the things that are already possible through the first 9 days of camp I think we've had so far, man, it's promising. And I look forward to continuing to watch him grow, continue to watch his leadership grow, continue to watch his development at the quarterback position grow. And, Bo's a special guy on and off the field, and I tell him all the time, even beyond football, he's a special dude. The way that he thinks, the way that he carries himself, the way that he leads, he's a special guy. And so to be able to share the locker room with him, share the field with him, it's a special thing. And I just look forward to, what's ahead and us continuing to build what we can here.
Corey, you mentioned you're going into year 8. If you could go back and talk to the 23-year-old version of yourself who's about to start his first season, was in his first training camp, what would you say to that guy? Just about what comes next, or how he needs to approach things? What would you say to that person?
Man, it's funny. I was talking to some of the rookies today after practice and trying to encourage them because, as a rookie, you go through a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of uncertainty that you go through. And I shared with them that during my first OTAs, man, I struggled so much that I had a conversation with my old receivers coach from college, Justin Stubb, and I literally messaged him and said, I don't know if I can do this. And there was a moment of doubt that crept in because I wasn't having the early success that I really wanted to have in OTAs. And, to have the awareness to understand that it's not going to be perfect, but what are you going to do about it to fix it? How can you change your routine, whether it's in the film room, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's at practice and going into the games? How can you change your preparation so that you can have the confidence in yourself, because the athletic ability is obviously there. Every guy, whether they're undrafted or not, that gets to come out here and practice during training camp is here for a reason. And it's what are you going to do to sustain that opportunity that you're being given? And that's one thing that I feel like has been very beneficial to myself. it's not just about getting there. It's like once you get there, it's like what are you going to do to sustain that opportunity that you're being given? Every day is an opportunity. Every rep is an opportunity. Every time we get to step on that field is an opportunity for us to go out and prove to ourselves, to our families, to every single person that believes in us that we can go do it. It's what are you working towards to be able to sustain that opportunity? You know, every day is a blessing, and it's all about making the most of it at the end of the day. And so, you know, I think to short answer your question is, you know, believe in yourself at the end of the day. You can do it. It may not be easy every single day, but stay consistent.